going on, everyone? DSP here, and welcome to a channel update for August 5th, 2011. A couple different things to talk about. Some good, some, maybe it wouldn't be considered good, but I want to give a follow-up to some stuff that's happened this week, and explain to everyone exactly what happened, and go from there. But first of all, a couple things. First of all, I've now completed Mega Man 1 through 6 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's right, on my actual original Nintendo Entertainment System. It still works, and all that footage is now up on DSPGaming. So if you haven't seen it, you want some retro flavor, definitely check it out. We've already got a remix made by a fan of some of my gameplay when I was on the Gutsman stage of Mega Man 1, and that's in my favorites if you want to check it out. And I do want to mention that S-Beast Music did make a new song as well. This was a musical remix of my gameplay of Motorstorm Apocalypse, and that's over on his channel, S-Beast Music. And also, it's in my favorites as well, if you want to check it out. I've completed the Mega Man games, and there's a lot, of course, because I knew this was going to happen. People like it a lot. And now I'm getting all kinds of requests. Phil, you should play Zelda. Phil, you should play Mario Kart. Phil, you should play the Super Mario Brothers original games. Why don't you do Final Fantasy? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do Mega Man X on the SNES? Well, thank you, first of all, for all the feedback. Thank you for all of the participation. A lot of people, you know, giving good feedback and saying this is great, we like this here, you know, we want to see more. It's definitely something that I enjoy. I had a blast playing those games this week. And like I said, some of them I'd never even played before, so it was a lot of fun to try out those games. As you know, we're heading now into the third of the year. That doesn't sound right, does it? The last third of the year. And September, October, November, December, pretty much going to be non-stop releases. As you know, they always release most of the new games in that time frame because of the holidays. And December, it's looking like it might slow down a little bit, but as you know, I do my year-end videos, and I've got some ideas in my head of how I can do the year-end videos and not have to worry about any copyright issues. So, basically, I'm booked pretty much till the end of the year, okay? And if there is any downtime, if anything gets canceled or whatever, I would consider doing more retro games. I definitely like retro games, but right now, there's not any time for it, okay? Now, I'm not saying I'm never going to do retro games again. If I ever do have more downtime like I had this month, I'll definitely consider doing it, okay? So thank you for everyone. A lot of people are now asking me if they can donate games. Like, if you want to donate something, you have to go to my website, thekingofhate.com, go to the DSP's P.O. Box area of the forums and post it up there, and then I'll review it and either approve it or deny it. I'm getting PMs, I'm getting all kinds of stuff through email. Can I send you this? Can I send you that? It's too much. It's too much for me to keep track of and know who I'm responding to. Please go to the forums if you want to donate some stuff, okay? And when I say by donate, is there some people have like older games, like they have Super Mario. Phil, can I send you Super Mario to play? Well, sure, I'd love that, but send it to me on the forum so I can formally approve it, and I know someone's sending it to me. Not that all of a sudden 5 people say it and then I end up with 10 copies of games. You know what I mean? That would be uncalled for, and I don't want to be hogging stuff like that. So, yeah, please do it through the forums. That was the formal way to do it. Now, some other good news. Try to block off part of this here, but I now hold the legal trademark to Darkside Phil. As of this week, it's so funny, I submitted the request for this trademark in December of last year. It took them 9 months to approve it. Okay, so now finally I own the trademark to Darkside Phil. What does that mean? It means now I am legally protected from anyone else trying to go out there and saying, number one, that they are Darkside Phil, number two, trying to take my video footage and use it in stuff without my permission. Now, by the way, I do give my permission for you to use my video footage in any kind of a tribute video, a musical remix, anything like that. I wholeheartedly give my fans permission to go ahead and use my footage. I do not give permission for you to just try to copy my videos and put them on your channel, which some people have done. And obviously, there are some people that you know that are using my videos to misconstrue things that I say to make me look bad and to basically try to defame me, make me look like a bad person, which is not the case. And so, that's kind of the stuff that if I ever wanted to take legal action against, I could. And all I need to do, I already have contact. I can draft a cease and desist letter like this and have a YouTube channel shut down. I could have people be legally liable for it, to which case I could open civil damages for stealing my videos and defaming my name. So, I think that's pretty cool, having the legal ability to say, listen, this is me, this is my content, I'm Darkside Phil, no one else can impersonate me, no one else can steal my video footage and use it for their own purposes to try to defame someone or make money or do anything like that, because I control it. That, I think, is really cool. And it took a long time, and it was expensive to do it, but I finally got the trademark. So I just wanted to let everyone know that's pretty cool, and it'll definitely help me in the future, I feel. You know, especially when I'm trying to go into business for myself, I'm trying to do this in the long run. You need to take precautions like that, because who knows, tomorrow someone else could have opened up a channel on YouTube and said, hey, I'm Darkside Phil, and now I'm going to do it, and you know, then they get popularity based off of me just from name recognition alone, and that's not fair. So this protects me from that kind of stuff, so that's pretty cool. I just want to remind everyone that this week on Saturday, which is tomorrow, but by the time this video goes up, it might actually not be tomorrow. So anyway, on Saturday, August 6th, John Rambo and I are doing co-op gameplay of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and I think a lot of people have been anticipating that as well. They want to see us play a Mario game. We'll be doing that here, and that'll be going up on DSPGaming, so stay tuned for that. And of course, there will be a new episode of Smart Guys, our wrestling commentary show. That'll be going up over on John's channel, John Rambo Presents, okay? The last thing I want to talk about in this channel update is a situation that's been going on ever since earlier this week. I did a channel update, and I did a little bit of a rant. I gave my personal feelings on PlayStation Magazine, okay? And the reason that I kind of went off on them is because, number one, through this whole fiasco that went on this year with the PlayStation Network being hacked and being down, and, you know, everything going on, all these other gaming magazines, including Game Informer, Edge Magazine, there's like 3 or 4 gaming magazines that I all read that had articles about the PlayStation Network being down, how it was hacked, how PlayStation fixed the problem, and all that. US PlayStation Magazine, okay, because I know there are other ones for the UK and other countries, but the United States version of PlayStation Magazine never covered the story, okay? Barely even mentioned it. They only once was mentioned in the editorial by the head editor, and then once was mentioned in the thumbs up, thumbs down section of the magazine, and it was a thumbs down. Darn, the PlayStation Network's down. We hope it gets up and fixed. And that was it. They never mentioned it again. And I was questioning their journalistic integrity. If you are a magazine meant to cover exclusively the PlayStation and everything around the PlayStation, how can you pretend like a 2-month outage of the PlayStation Network, well, not the full PlayStation Network, but, you know, the PlayStation Store and everything being down for a significant amount of time, people's user information being hacked and stolen, like, how could you not cover that story? That is a complete blackout of true news, okay? And the only exception that I said where they would be protected, where I think that it's okay, is if their bosses, meaning if Sony themselves wrote them and said, listen, we know this is the big news, but let us take care of all the PR for this story because we don't want any misinformation slipping out or being misconstrued. If that happened, then I could understand. But they should have said that. They should have said, FYI, we know that the PlayStation Network outage is a big deal. However, we've been told by our parent company, Sony, that they would like to give any information about that, and we don't want to accidentally give misinformation, therefore please go to the PlayStation blog if you want information. That's what should have happened. That's not what happened. They just completely have ignored it in their print magazine, which is bad journalism. But that's even not really what I was so upset about. What I was really upset about is that in the review section for their latest magazine that just came out a couple days ago, in fact, let me go grab it. I apologize because I was supposed to have it here and I didn't bring it out. Okay, their latest issue, which is September 2011, okay, they review several games, a lot of games at once. First they review Fear 3, and they give it a score of 7, which I think is a fair score, because I played the game. I said, you know, in my Hateful Truth review that I came out with this week, I said I don't think there was enough in there. It definitely wasn't a scary game like the previous Fears have been. And I couldn't even get online to play the online play because apparently no one's playing it anymore. So because of that, I actually gave it a lower score than they did. Then they go on to review other games. They review Captain America. They give that a 7. They review Green Lantern. They give that a 7. And then they review Catherine. Okay, Catherine, one of the most unique games to come out in quite a long time. They give that a 7. So 4 fucking games that on no way, shape, or form are they on the same level of quality. They rated them all the same. And when you look at the magazine, you realize the way that they do their reviews is they actually assign a certain game to a certain person who works on the magazine. So it wasn't like the same guy reviewed all 4 games. 4 completely different people reviewed these games, and each gave them independent scores, not looking at the other games that were being reviewed. So I'm sorry, but if I play Captain America, okay, it's an okay movie tie-in game, but it's slightly better than other movie tie-in games. But then I play a game like Catherine. Wow, Catherine's a really interesting story, good plot. There are a couple downsides, like the controls don't work all the time, so the puzzles can get really repetitive, and the game's pretty hard. So you look at them and you say, okay, but which game is better? Catherine is leaps and bounds better than Captain America. So how could you score them both a 7? It's this kind of bad scoring and bad journalism that completely fucks up review scores and meta scores on the internet. You know, you go to like Metacritic or these places that take summaries of all these mainstream media outlets, and they take averages of their score, and it's all fucked up, and you can't tell if a game's good or not, because idiots like this don't know how to do their job. And the thing that really pissed me off, they reviewed Duke Nukem Forever and gave it a fucking 3. You gave Duke Nukem Forever a 3, but you gave 2 generic movie tie-in games, Captain America and Green Lantern, 7s. What the fuck? And then I even went on further. I said, how could someone give Duke Nukem a 3 and give all these other games better scores? And I realized they had actually had their 20-year-old female intern review Duke Nukem Forever. And I basically called irresponsible journalism. And there's a couple reasons. And I'll clarify them here, and then I'll tell you what happened, because actually PlayStation Magazine responded on Twitter. So here's what happened. You can't have someone who does not understand, okay, the whole idea of what a game is and have them review the game. I would not myself have myself rate Barbie Horse Adventures, okay? I wouldn't rate SpongeBob SquarePants. You want to know why? Because I don't know what the fuck Barbie's all about. I've never watched an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants in my life, and yeah, that's actually true. So I know a lot of people would be surprised at that, because I know it was a very popular cartoon. I just totally missed it. I never watched it. So for me to play those games, I would have no frame of reference whatsoever about if they're true to the series or not. I would have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, and I've never played games like that either, so I would completely be flabbergasted. I'd probably give them low, shitty scores, regardless of if they actually are really good games or not, okay? You can't have someone who, if she's 20 years old, she was 5 years old when the first Duke Nukem 3D game came out. Do you really think at this time that she understands what that game was about, how popular it was when it was out, why it was popular? Was she there during that era of gameplay to understand that all those games played like that? No. The answer is no, okay? The humor of Duke Nukem Forever is for males. The game is not made for females. I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to be sexist. That game is made for males. It's all potty humor, sexual humor, crude, rude humor about males. It's a very chauvinistic game, okay? But it's meant to be that way. That's the Duke Nukem persona. That's how it was in the 90s. It's not any different. So now you're going to have a young girl play a game that plays like a game from the 90s, who doesn't really understand anything about the original game or what it was, and doesn't understand the humor. Gee, I wonder if she's gonna like the game. I mean, you have to be totally fucking stupid to have a girl like that review the game. And by no means am I saying anything negative about the girl. Her name is Ann Lewis. I think she was set up to fail. When you're given a game like that and you have no fucking idea about it, how could you possibly give the game a fair review? It just makes no sense. It would be like if there was a game solely made, and I know this is going to sound really crazy, what if there was a game solely made that was to make fun of white males who play video games, and that's the whole game? Well, obviously if I play it, I'm offended. So I'm not going to like the game, and I'm going to give it a low rating. Be like, oh, that humor was really cheesy and stupid and insulting. Well, that's pretty much what she says in her article. The humor isn't funny, it's insulting, and it's cheesy, and it doesn't belong in this time and era. But that's what the game is. It's a throwback to the 90s and the Duke Nukem persona. So no, you can't have a 20-year-old girl who doesn't understand the proper frame of reference review a game like that. You can't. It's not fair, because now everyone who read this magazine, and if this is their favorite magazine, they think the game is a fucking 3, and they think that Captain America and Green Lantern are more than twice as good as that game. They're not, okay? So this is irresponsible journalism. So I said most of this, but I didn't elaborate on it like I just did earlier in the week in my video, and I called out Gary Steinman, who is the editor-in-chief of the magazine. I called him an asshole, and I said, he's very irresponsible, he should be fired, because that magazine has reviews in it that are not correct. When you review a game, and first of all, when you're part of the mainstream media, it's your job to make sure that when you review something, that the review is correct and is scaled properly, okay? You can't just let anyone just give anything a fucking score. What if I had a really fucking bad day, and I walked into here, and I sat down to play Infamous 2, and I was just in a really nasty mood, and I said, this game sucks, 2. If I worked for PlayStation Magazine, would they fucking put that up and say that the game is a 2? You know what I mean? It's the editor-in-chief's job to look at everyone's reviews, to read the text in their reviews, and to make sure that the score that they've given the game is equivalent to what they're saying in the text, okay? It's also his job, his or her job, to make sure that you pick the right person to review the right game. You don't pick someone who's only played puzzle games in their life to play an FPS game, and vice versa. This girl was not the right person to pick to review Duke Nukem Forever, okay? So, knowing all that, he didn't do his job. He let all these games just be rated 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Now no one has any idea what game's better than the other. And really, if you want to know in terms of quality, here's how it goes. Green Lantern sucks. Captain America is a little bit better than sucks, but it's still pretty bad. Fear 3 is okay, and Catherine's pretty good. That's the score structure they should have used, and then you rate them properly. So, okay, Green Lantern's a 3 or 4, Captain America's a 5 or 6, Fear's a 6 or 7, and then Catherine's a 7 or 8. But they can't be all the same fucking score. That's the editor-in-chief's job. This is what he's paid to do. That's the whole idea. And he didn't do that. Instead, he just greenlit whatever someone wrote for a review, and now the magazine is a steaming pile of shit. It's completely worthless, and it's hurt people because they're believing scores that aren't correct, and it's hurting the Metascore online, okay? So I said most of this, like I said, not in this much detail, earlier this week. So on Twitter, Gary Steinman responds and says, oh man, some guy with an internet show just said that I should be fired and I'm an asshole. Ha ha ha. I don't know if... no, I think he said, that's actually pretty awesome. So first of all, the guy thinks that this is some kind of a positive for him. It's not. It's a negative. I'm criticizing him very strongly and seriously and telling him that his journalistic integrity is gone. It's not there. His magazine is worthless. And he thinks it's a joke. He thinks it's funny. So I respond to him and I say, you should not be laughing. You should be worried. I'm serious. To which case he responds again and says, oh, that's okay. I'm sure you're secretly in love with me. That was his response. I'm not kidding you. He says this. You can see it on Twitter. He says that. To which I respond, you're making gay jokes? I'm serious. I'm challenging your credibility and you're making gay jokes. To which he responds one more time and says, oh, that wasn't a gay joke. I was just trying to be funny or to like clown around. Ha ha ha. Wow. Like he's surprised that I thought it was a gay joke or something. To which I responded, okay, I'll rephrase what I said then. You're making stupid jokes instead of, actually answering my challenge to your credibility. He never responded again, okay? Since then, it's been like 2 or 3 days, never responded again. I didn't expect him to, because at that point, probably what happened is he checked my YouTube channel and said, oh, fuck, look at this guy has a giant following, what am I doing? I can't fucking go, try to get into an argument with him, it's going to make me look bad. So he probably shut the fuck up, okay? But someone else whose name is Mitchie D, and I'm actually should probably get his full name on here because I actually want to call him out, but he also went up on Twitter. Now this guy is an independent. Hold on, let's check how time the video is here. I still got about another 10 minutes. This guy is an independent writer for gaming magazines. He's written for PlayStation Magazine, he's written for Xbox Magazine, he's written for PC Magazine, he's written for a whole bunch of magazines, okay? And I'm just trying to get to his profile. Mitch Dyer is his full name, Mitch Dyer. So his name is @MitchieD, and he starts criticizing me. Oh, who do you think you are? You think you know better than us how to review games? Wow, like who am I? To which I said, yeah, I do know better than you. A review is not just your personal opinion at the time of what a game is. You have to combine facts about the game, facts about the quality of other games that have been out during the time, scale your review. That's the way to do it responsibly. You don't just fucking spur of the moment, come in a bad mood and give a game a bad score or a better score than it deserves and not also know what's out there so you can scale it properly and say what's better than another game. And of course he completely disagreed. Oh no, it's all about opinion. And then a whole bunch of PlayStation Magazine fanboys came out of the woodwork and started chiming into, oh, who is this guy? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's an asshole on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. So finally I said to Mitchy D, I said, listen, if you want to talk about this, we got to do it off Twitter, because I can't have a conversation with you saying one sentence at a time, because Twitter has too small of a character limit. So we got on AOL Instant Messenger, which I still use, and we talked for roughly 2 minutes. And I said, all right, so let's talk. And he goes, oh, well, I can't talk now. I have to get food, and then I have to watch movies. This is literally what he said to me. And I said, okay, I thought the whole point of opening this conversation was that we could talk about this. No, I'm busy now. Write me an email. And I said, I'm not writing you an email. I've given this whole opinion about how reviews should be and how the mainstream media doesn't know how to do their job. I've done it multiple times in videos before. I'll link you to a video if you want to watch it, or we can talk. He said, well, I'm not watching the video. I guess we'll talk about this tomorrow then. And then I said, well, just so you know, I'm independently employed. I make videos for YouTube full time, and so I'm pretty much free whenever you want to talk. To which he goes, oh, Jeer, wow, you're really humble, huh? Do you brag much? And I said, what? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm telling you this because I'm telling you I'm free to talk whenever you want to about this subject. I'm interested in this subject. I think there should be a dialogue about it. And he just got all offended that, like, I told him that I work full-time on YouTube. Like, okay, jealous much? That's what I should have said. Jealous much? But anyway, he says he can't talk, but he'll message me the next day. Not more than 5 minutes later, he's back on Twitter, and he's attacking me. He doesn't know what he's talking about, ha 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 ha. He thinks that a review shouldn't be fully opinion, what an asshole. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this guy I was just talking to him, and he said he couldn't talk anymore. Now he's back on Twitter trying to shit on me. So basically what he tried to do was get me to not be on the internet anymore, thinking the dialogue was closed, so that he could go behind my back and make me look like an asshole on Twitter. This is the quality of Mitch Dyer as a person, okay? So anyway, after all that happened, I went back and forth with him a while. Now he gets the girl who wrote the review for Duke Nukem Forever involved, okay? Now keep in mind, he admitted to me he hasn't read this magazine. He doesn't know any of the stuff in it. He doesn't know what scores are in it. He hasn't read the reviews. He hasn't read the magazine, but he's going apeshit defensive over it. So that just goes to show who he is. He's a fanboy, okay? He gets her involved and tweets to Ann Lewis and says, oh, not Phil, but they call me DSP is trying to shit on you, and he's trying to do all this and that. To which I responded, completely wrong. I never said any of that. What I said was, I think you were set up to fail, and it's unfair, and I actually challenged the credibility of your editor-in-chief, because I think the reviews in your previous magazine, or your latest issue of your magazine, are complete and utter shit. That's what I said. So then, of course, she didn't know what was going on. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know what the hell is it. So she responded quickly and says, well, I'm not sure why, you know, you're hating on me, but opinion's opinion, so you can say whatever you want. So we left it at that. About an hour later, this was funny. She tweets again and says, oh, wait a minute. I know that everyone's trying to be a white knight and defend me, but I actually have watched DSP's videos, and I think that they're good, so please leave them alone. So that's how funny this whole situation's going on. This Mitchy D guy is all up in arms that I would say something bad about the magazine, or that this review from the intern is bad, and then the intern admits that she likes my videos, so what the fuck is the problem? Everyone should shut up. And that was the end of it. In several days, I haven't heard from Mitchy D, I haven't heard from Gary Steinman, I haven't heard from anyone. But here's what I have to say. The next time you pick up a mainstream magazine like this, and you open it up and there's an article, and it says, oh, this article was written by Mitch Dyer. Here's what you do. You take that page of your magazine, and you rip it out, and you collect them. And then you leave them in your bathroom, so when you run out of toilet paper, you're fine, you're covered. Because that's really what's on that page. It's shit. This guy is a fucking asshole, alright? He's so paranoid because I'm criticizing a mainstream magazine that apparently occasionally employs him to write an article, and so now he's going to try to go behind my back after I tried to have a one-on-one conversation with him seriously about the situation. He tries to go behind my back on Twitter and try to shit all over me. That's the quality of person who's writing for mainstream gaming magazines. Gee, I wonder why they suck. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So that's what happened this week on Twitter. There hasn't been anything else since then. I haven't tried to start a fight with these people anymore. There's absolutely no reason for me to, because we just saw the credibility of the person. I'm not saying anything negative about Ann Lewis, the intern. I think that she was doing her job, and I think that unfortunately she was set up to fail because she was not the right person to review that game. I think that Gary Steinman doesn't do his job properly, and he's probably not the only one in the industry. I'm sure there's probably plenty other people who just let shit like this slide. I don't. You want to know why? Because I have the courage to speak the truth. And the truth is, this magazine is worthless for its reviews. You can't trust a magazine like this because people are irresponsible. It's that simple. You cannot. I played every video game. You know that if you watch me and you're a fan of me. You know I played all those games. So I know they're not all fucking 7s, okay? This magazine is irresponsible. They are not giving proper reviews. Gary Steinman isn't doing his job, and he is an asshole. And so is this fucking prick Mitch Dyer, who thinks that he knows so much better than everyone else on how to do a game review. Well, let me ask you this. Why are so many people running to people like me to watch my Hateful Truth videos and game reviews and other independents on the internet? You want to know why? Because we don't trust idiots like you anymore because you don't know how to fucking do your job. So that's that. I'm done on the subject. We all know that PlayStation Magazine now sucks for its reviews. It's unfortunate, and, you know, I wanted to have a serious dialogue about the subject, but no one there wanted to talk. I mean, Gary Steinman vanished, and then Mitch Dyer just reverted to childish antics. So, it is what it is, and that's all that I can do with it, you know? So, I tried to be an adult and have intelligent conversation. Apparently, there's no one to have an intelligent conversation with. That's unfortunate, but that's life, and that's reality. So, okay. That's the whole situation with Twitter. I'm leaving it at that. Again, unless someone responds to me or someone wants to talk to me about the subject, that's different, but I'm not going to ramble on about it anymore. There's no point because I've tried and I got nowhere, okay? So anyway, that's it. Again, remember, Super Mario Brothers Wii coming up tomorrow and, well, Saturday the 6th, and I'll let you know what's coming up in the next couple of days. Like I said, I am taking some time off next week, and I will outline that in my weekend preview video, where I'll also talk about what stuff I'll try to fit in before then and when I'll be back, okay? So I'm DSP, it's been a channel update, and I'll see you guys later.